So it's impossible to talk about your whole life in 3 minutes. So I chose to go over one area of my life that's something that I overcame, and I'm telling it in the form of the Fast Forward Mindset book. So you'll be able to notice the process as I go along. But this story is about how I used to be an alcoholic and how I got to where I am right now. So, coming into this world, we don't know what kind of family we're going to have, what problems we'll face, none of that. So, I just so happened to be born into a family that is a great family, and my father's side of the family is severe alcoholics and all kinds of stuff. And I got exposed to all of that at an early age, and I really didn't think anything of it because, all of that stuff was attached to that. So I kind of followed in my father's footsteps in that sense. So once I hit 16, I kind of hit the ground running and you couldn't tell me anything. And for many, many years following that, I would just become the alcoholic that I was before I got help. I would, drink a lot, get blackout drunk, do stupid things, and then, hit repeat the next day. Didn't have a care in the world. My mindset was all about me. I was selfish, and the consequences didn't mean anything to me. I had 5 DUIs. I've been to jail multiple times. I spent 3.5 months in the last time in jail up here in Washington. And it was all about me and nobody else mattered. And I couldn't understand why nobody could understand where I was coming from. Rock bottom is an interesting place. I feel like it's different for everybody, and it doesn't necessarily mean that, you're in this desperate part of your life. It could just be a desperate mindset if you want to relate it to any specific situation. But for me, in this story, rock bottom was when my whole family basically just stopped talking to me and excommunicated me because tough love was the only answer. And I felt really alone and helpless in this situation because I had all of these things piling up against me after I got this DUI, and I had no support. And until I decided to, move forward in this alcohol-free lifestyle, then I started getting support. But that rock bottom is where your mindset changes. It's where you take control of your actions and you take responsibility for yourself and you make positive change for yourself. Rock bottom is a bittersweet place. So the first steps for me coming out of this rock bottom place in my life was obviously to follow the court mandated requirements for DUI and treatment and all kinds of stuff that I had to do, and fines and work crew and all. Yeah, it was a lot. So I did all of that, and I made a commitment to my family that I was going to go back to school, and I honored my commitment. I got good grades. My support kept coming. After I graduated, I got a job. So things started working out. I was on probation for 5 years and, did a lot of check-ins, a lot of classes, and that was my next steps. So each day you wake up, each day you wake up when you're in all the court mandated stuff and you have all of this, checklist of things that you have to do, it's still hard. But once you get to the point where you're free and you wake up every day and you have to make the choice to choose the new you, the new mindset over the old you and old mindset. And it is challenging. It's not easy on some days because things will come up that will trigger you, that will bring back good, bad emotions, and it will make you think, oh, well, I can do it. I'm good now. But then you have to remember, no, I'm not. No. And you have to choose your new self versus your old self. And I feel like that's applicable not just with alcohol, but with anything that you're trying to be delivered from. Yay, I did it. After each little challenge that pops up, I mentally talked myself through it. And once the urge or feeling just went away, I could move on with my life. It kept getting easier. And now I can honestly say I am completely delivered from it and completely free. So, the saying that you can't see the whole picture when you're standing in it or right up next to it. I feel like that's the case when you put your life into focus. You can only see so much when you're in the middle of something, and then you gradually, you step back, you can see the bigger picture. For me, it was like that. So, like this slide says, I focused on what I was doing in that moment, how to grow past that moment. And then once I got a clearer mindset, got more involved in church, focused on things other than myself, because ironically, alcoholism, you're completely selfish and you only think of yourself all the time. So when you start to think of other people and put other people before you, it naturally grows you out of yourself, which I thought was amazing. And, I was able to see the bigger picture once I passed that 5-year mark. That was a huge victory for me. And, I was going to church for 2 years and decided I was going to go to business school. So that's what brought me here. And my goals are endless. So with that being said, I have no shame in saying that if it wasn't for God, I would not be where I am right now. I would not be standing. I would not be free. I would not be anything close to who I am right now if it wasn't for Him. And just like that verse that I put on the screen says, I can do nothing standing alone without God, but with Him, I can do all things. And that's where I'm going to leave it.